today I was just, looking at a few things on YouTube comments and stuff, and somebody commented, "We're surely not in a bull market anymore." And I was just like, come on, man. Like, you don't, it like basically, if you depends on time frame, right, where you look at it, and it also depends on what trend analysis tool you use. And we are in a counter trend of a dominant trend, which is an up move, which means therefore a bull market. Pretty simple. We're and I love these green candles, baby, on the rest of the market right now.
Definitely, but like
sleeping in a bear market is a bad move. We've been saying this ever since the beginning of the bull market. Bad move. Why? You get rusty, baby. You come back to the market. Boom.
Right.
What the fuck just happened? Where you lose your bearings and you get soft.
Right. You get soft. Like,
yeah.
So never sleep, Charlie. So I never sleep now forever.
I am a cyborg. I do not need sleep. Oil pumps in my veins.
Dude, but I actually wanted to talk about something that I saw earlier today. Like, watch, I'm pull an article up. This is crazy. Like, this is the trend I've been saying. Like, where everyone's saying, like, this bull market's over. This bull market's over and everything like that. Right? Look at this right there. Binance USA is looking to go public.
Ooh, baby.
Bruh.
I love CZ's fucking cojones, man. Like he's just like sending letters to the FBI telling them to thank him for cooperating with what they asked him to give them in terms of information. Now he's like, I don't give a shit that the US has started to try to like sue me, and all these countries are coordinating to try to ban Binance, right? We still got VPNs, we still got ways around this. I'm gonna go public, baby. I like that move.
Right. The amount of companies that are trying to go public next year is like, it's kind of crazy how many companies are trying to go public. So like Gemini, Kraken, what's called BlockFi, Celsius, Binance now. What's the other one now? FTX. Also trying to go public next year. Dude, so all exchanges in the world are going public next year?
Yeah, and Sam's, he's getting ready for. He's like, you just read some of these articles and like how they're toned and everything. He's starting to lube up, the narrative machine, being like, oh yeah, the U.S. wants crypto and they want it from FTX, and they want Tom Brady, to be telling Tom Brady and Saquon Barkley, right, two of the biggest names in the NFL, are pro crypto, and I think it's pretty interesting.
In 2023, me and Charlie will be like, we have something to announce. We're going public.
I love it. Well, with the new trend of equity tokens, with what Exodus was doing with their equity token, I mean, it's possible, that you can now go public in crypto and say, screw traditional markets. I'm just gonna, fundraise for myself, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, this is making me think. So I think if you look back at some of me and Charlie's like Moon Gang episodes from like not that long ago, maybe 6-7 months ago or so, we were kind of hinting towards possibly 23 a lot. We more or less kind of decided, looking at what we had in terms of information, because crypto's like ever evolving, right? We kind of more or less settled out to somewhere in the middle of 22 being kind of like possible top, or kind of like pitch for the fervor and stuff,
right.
But if these IPOs happen later and later in 2022, you end up kind of having like residue or fumes left over, and that could bleed until maybe like the first quarter of 23.
Hey man, give me a blow off top into 2023. That'll be a very Merry Christmas that year. I love it.
Yo, I want this thing to go. As long as possible, man. Because as long as the prices are this high, right, those juicy dividends and stuff, and
loans come out in California, baby.
California.
Well, yeah. Well, you won't have to worry about that too much longer.
Right. But it's man, CZ. Other than like fucking up a little bit, like because dude, CZ has played this game like a master,
baby, like a fucking fiddle.
One mistake, that's all he did, but everything else has been like.
So, yeah, one and a half. I guess.
Okay.
Like, mention the one you're thinking of, and then I'll mention, like, I guess, because I think you're talking about the DEXs.
Yeah, No, yeah, it was the Dexes. Yeah, so he had Binance Dex way early on. It was like 2017,
Like
2018 when he
it
brought.
was like about 6 to 9 months before Uniswap even came out.
Yeah, I was like, it was like, whoa, he was that head of the curve. Like if you had asked me back then what a Dex was, I would have been like, he's like decentralized exchange. Oh, that's cool, but I wouldn't have really understood what he meant by decentral. Like
Oh, really?
even back then. Well, you know what? You understand what just something like a decentralized thing is, like Bitcoin. Like you can't shut it down, of course, but it's this whole thing of like you don't like all right, like when we were using Ethereum, even back then, like it was just like a place to launch tokens. That's really what
Yeah.
it was back then.
Yeah.
Like I don't use Ethereum. You can't use it. You can't use Ethereum today like you used to be able to use it back then. Back
Right.
then, there was really not much to do on it. Like
Yeah.
at most, I'd
Just make an ICO, some vaporware, and print some money, and then duck your head and leave the market.
Right.
That's pretty much what Ethereum was being used for at the beginning, and that's why people thought it was a scam too, right? People were like, Ethereum's a scam. It's not overtaking the market. It's not going to have a network effect like Bitcoin. Boy, were they wrong.
Yeah.
But you got to admit when you're wrong. You just admit you're wrong and then move on, and then cool beans. But these maxis who cling on to past assumptions, right, of what is true in this market, they get left behind. They turn to dinosaurs. It is what it is.